But if you're out there right now and you struggle with self-belief and you struggle with self-worth and you struggle with assertiveness, all we're asking is to practice it and to set the intention to learn how to be more assertive. Your whole life will start to change. You'll start being treated the way you deserve to be treated.
Understand this, when you stop letting people walk on you, the people who are only in your life to walk on you will leave.
Yeah.
That's the best. Like, if you take the carpet out, the people can't walk on the carpet anymore, they go somewhere else. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode with the one Erica Lippi. Today, for episode number 665, what to do when you're sick of getting walked on.
So the reason we're doing this episode is Kevin and I have learned over time through all of our coaching calls and interviewing people, it's like there are a lot of people out there that are very warm, kind, loving people who want what's best for everybody, but they're being walked on by people who might be a little more assertive or honestly toxic. There's a lot of people out there that will push the limits of what's acceptable if they can get away with it. And in a weird way, it's kind of like the best analogy here is a little kid who gets bullied. If the little kid, guy or girl, musters the courage to punch the bully right in the face, I bet you the bully would stop bullying. But the little kid maybe doesn't have the confidence or the assertiveness to do that because they probably are insecure. So the story here is, and I'll keep this anonymous, this is private, but it really boils me inside to even talk about this. I have a client who is a super successful businesswoman, and basically she had a client who, when he goes to give her a hug, grabs her ass. And she's afraid to say something because she's afraid to lose the client. And it's just like, who cares? You gotta. Yeah. And so we're working on what's called the truth dial, and I'll give a shout out to my girlfriend Emilia. She's the one who created this, and I've talked about it a little bit on the show, but basically, like, imagine you are looking at the stove and you have from 0 to 10. 10 is the hottest. I want you to think of 10 as the hottest, being the most assertive. I think that life is a dance between two extremes. I think all of us are either naturally warm and loving or naturally assertive. And if you're listening to this show, you're most likely naturally warm and loving, and you need to work on assertiveness. For me, I was naturally assertive and need to work on the warm and loving piece. And I think you can get good at both. I just don't think many people are naturally good at both. And so, to be completely honest, Kev, not many people ever walk on me.
I think it's self-worth. I think that's it. In a nutshell, that's what causes it. Because if you believe your level of worth is here, you'll accept any behavior at that level or below.
Yep.
And unfortunately, if you've had bad things happen to you in your past and you allow that to lower your self-worth, you also lower your expectations and allowances for yourself. Yep. I've seen this so much. Now that we're talking about it, it's like I'm having so many things jump up of like, oh, I had a client who is friends with a man who said, yeah, I love being friends, but every time they spend time together or they talk, he's making sexual advances. Mm-hmm. And she's having trouble getting out of that room. And it's like, oh, okay, I can see what's happening here. You're getting kind of sort of walked on, AKA in some cases taken advantage of.
For sure.
But I guess the first question is, do you feel like you are, quote unquote, deserving of that? And if so, it's probably a self-worth thing.
It also might be normal because you're so used to it.
Yeah.
And I told this client, you got to dial your truth up. You got to be assertive. Like, punch the bully in the face. Don't punch him in the face, but like, say, like, you have to see the fear of losing a client is larger, is too high. Get rid of the fear of losing the client.
Yeah.
See, every time she tolerates behavior like that, it's a self-respect hit. You're trading in your own self-respect for keeping a potential client. When someone with high self-worth and high self-belief would say, hey, that is completely unacceptable, don't do that, and I don't really care if you come back.
Yeah.
Because that's not how I'm going to be treated. And then that type of person would actually attract more clients because they're more assertive. And so I've had many, many clients in the past, and I tend to work with people who struggle with assertiveness because that's usually the thing that I can bring to the table. And especially in business, you will get walked on if you don't know your own self-worth and if you don't have self-belief. So basically what I help people with is learning how to be more assertive. So if you're out there right now and you are sitting there like, you know what? How assertive am I? Gauge it from 0 to 10. How assertive am I? Go ahead, Kev.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, probably like a 7.
7.
I
Okay.
don't think I'm super assertive.
Okay. So from 0 to 10, Kevin's a 7. If you're out there listening, from 0 to 10, where are you at? And be honest. This is the uncomfortable truth. Maybe it's a 3. Maybe it's a 4. What I want you to try to do, don't try to get to 10. Because trust me, if you try to get to 10, you're gonna say some things. You're gonna probably overdo it. It's a weapon you've never used before. You got to practice, right? Swing the golf club a few times. Golf reference.
Hi everyone, my name is Bianca Thomas. I am the host of the Y Power podcast, and I'm also a client of both Kevin and Alan. I had the absolute pleasure and honor and honestly the blessing of meeting both of these extraordinary men at the beginning of their journey, when the Hyperconscious podcast was just at its beginning. And to keep it short and sweet, these two guys have completely changed my life. Because of them, I've been able to really learn how to love myself, to express myself, to go past my fears and have the courage to do things that I never thought I would have done, like having my own podcast. I'm a little over time, but I just want to say, if there's anyone out there who wants a coach, who wants help, who wants two people to lean on, it's these two guys. They are rare, extraordinary men, and I'm so lucky to have them in my life.
So if I was coaching Kevin right now and he was like, I want to get to the next level of my life, I would say, okay, do you struggle more with warmth and love and vulnerability, or do you struggle with assertiveness?
Assertiveness.
Okay, from 0 to 10, how assertive do you believe you are? You said 7. Okay, how would we get it to 8?
I would say I have to turn up the truth and get out of my comfort zone a little bit. And I believe in an easy environment. Like, think of it this way. If you're the type of person who gets the wrong order at Dunkin' Donuts and doesn't want to say anything because you don't want to create some sort of problem, then your assertiveness is probably pretty low. Unless you just don't care. It's like, whatever. It's not worth the going back in. But like, that's something that I'm the type of person, I don't care what my food comes out as. Like, I'm not going to return it. It doesn't make sense for me to do it. Is that a place of lack of assertiveness or just not caring? I don't really know. But ask yourself those questions. Like, there are definitely patterns that emerge if you're somebody who lacks assertiveness. Right? So maybe run through the Rolodex of like, oh yeah, that one time this happened to me and I just shelled up and didn't say anything, even though I wanted to. Like, okay, how different is your internal dialogue than your external dialogue?
Right.
And again, I'm probably thinking about cheeseburgers. I'm not going to say it right now, but like, you know what I mean?
So can you give a tangible example, if you're willing to share, where you should have been more assertive in hindsight?
Like pizza will take like an hour and a half to get delivered and they show up and I'm just like, yeah, no worries. Don't worry about it. No big deal at all. But in my mind, it kind of isn't. I don't know. Like, it's a fine line for me because it's like, it's not your fault, man. Like, it's not. I'm sure you didn't decide like, you know what, today I'm gonna wake up and Jeff Kevin's day and take an hour and a half to deliver the pizza.
So I want to give a quick example.
I think you can probably give a better one than
I will. I think it's important to know when to be warm and loving, and I think it's important to know when to be assertive. But if you're never practicing the second one, the assertiveness, you're not going to have that tool. You're not going to have that tool in your tool belt. You need a hammer and an axe, and you got to know when to use them. And that's a weird analogy, but basically, so earlier today, Kevin and I were on a show, and it went awesome. So shout out to Mel. You'll be hearing that. You already heard that. Okay.
Saturday.
So you will have heard that. If you go back and listen to Saturday's episode, you'll now see this from a new frame. Kevin and I jumped on Microsoft Dynamics, or not Microsoft Teams, which is not the platform that we're comfortable recording on. This person who interviewed us is at the beginning of her podcast journey, and we have much more awareness. And it was an opportunity for us to lead. Like, hey, we want to repurpose this on our show. Would you be willing to jump into StreamYard? Because honestly, the quality is going to be much better for our listeners. See, I care more about the listeners than I do about whether or not I'm going to offend Mel in that moment. And I needed to be assertive and lead. Whereas someone who is uncomfortable asking someone else to do something might not have taken that opportunity. Mm-hmm. And the episode ended up way better because of it. And so that's one example of like, honestly, you're going to get in life what you tolerate from yourself and what you tolerate from others. This client of mine, I'm so proud of her, Kev, because she's been dialing up her truth dial, and she's starting to filter out the people that really just don't want to be in her life. Yeah. And if you tolerate being walked on, you will always be walked on. And I have tolerated being walked on by certain people that are close to me at times, because I think this happens with family a lot, because they're blood, because they're family, and because we're used to it. If someone is not valuing you, there goes that. Just so everyone knows who's listening, the background just jeffed. But if you're out there right now and you struggle with self-belief and you struggle with self-worth and you struggle with assertiveness, all we're asking is to practice it and to set the intention to learn how to be more assertive. Your whole life will start to change. You'll start being treated the way you deserve to be treated.
Understand this. When you stop letting people walk on you, the people who are only in your life to walk on you will leave.
Yeah.
That's the best. Like, if you take the carpet out, the people can't walk on the carpet anymore. They go somewhere else.
Right.
You let them go. Ladies and gentlemen, as we have been mentioning, and we are very, very excited about this, this is another milestone for NLU. We are releasing our very first dual online training course, What It Really Takes to Get to the Next Level. We have taken years and years and years of our self-improvement journey and compiled it into a very easy-to-use online training course. $47. It's cheap. And also, if you don't like it, we will give you your money back within the first 30 days. That's our goal. We want you, if it's not a win-win, it's a loss. I don't want your money unless I'm helping you, and that's the way it's going to be.
That course is going to teach you how to be consistent.
Yes.
How to be committed.
Oh, yeah.
How to be confident.
Ding, ding.
And how to build the confidence. How to build a community around you of supportive people, which, by the way, join Next Level Nation in the show notes if you want
show notes.
If you want an amazing community of people who will support who you are and who will not walk on you. That's the one rule we have, is no one suppresses.
We'll flick them right out of there. See you later.
Yeah, the booted. And then choices. And what was the last one?
Community, consistency, confidence.
Clarity.
Did you get confidence?
I got confidence.
confidence.
Yep. Clarity. You'll also get crystal clear on the future you want and the person you aspire to be. Boom.
Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, we love you. We appreciate you. And as always, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.